get turned on by killing an animal or like
That's a thing.
dragged this guy to death. Like they.
Period. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Eve.
I'm Janitzi.
Y somos las Huevonas. And this is Aria.
This is Aria. Say what's up.
She's been a little hyper today.
She's full of energy. I walked in, she started yelling at me.
She said, "Where have you been?"
I haven't seen you since last week.
Oh, you know what I did want to mention? While I was editing that video, all I could see was my RBF. And I kept showing you because I was just like, there's no fucking way that's my face at all times, bro.
Leslie was explaining something, you're like, like, there's no way. Like,
and I need to put it out there. That's just my face. I was telling Judith, I was like, in my mind, that face, that's my, like, oh my god, that's crazy face. But I was just like, I was just like,
funny.
I need to change my face.
I know. So if you didn't see Evelyn much in that one, it's because she edited herself out.
No, I really did. I said, let me clip this. I look stupid as fuck. So yeah, that's what I did. Also my mic wasn't working.
Mine wasn't either. Mine was just like whenever I want.
Yeah, it would work and then it would not work, and I was just like, you know what? This was not the best quality, but it was funny. So if you watched it, cool. If you didn't, fuck you. I'm just kidding.
Hopefully they work today. We should be good today.
Yeah.
As long as it's not flashing, we'll keep an eye. Turn it over so I can keep an eye on your mic. Okay. There we go.
I put it towards the thing. Well, I've been like super into like murder mysteries. I don't know about you, but like that shit.
I like to watch them. I like to watch them at night.
Okay, like, so you like to give yourself anxiety.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I can only watch it at night if Isaac's watching them with me. But like during the day, I'll be watching them at all times, just because I think I like them from a psychology point of view. Of like, how the hell did you get here? You know what I mean? Like, how fucked up was your childhood?
Yeah.
That now you're like, I have to kill some people.
That's funny. No, because you say that, and have you heard, there was like this thing I saw on Instagram, and they were like making fun of like Americans because like, you know, the school shootings and stuff.
Oh yeah. I was just like, what were they making fun of us for out of the million things?
And so they were saying, like, I was looking at the comments, and a lot of comments were like, oh, keep in mind, they grew up in like a suburban area. They had both their parents and they were financially stable. So it's weird to me that it's always like those people that they just didn't get their way there. Like, I'm going to come back and,
yeah.
You know?
I just, from what I've studied, so I'm currently studying psychology. I've mentioned it like 25 times, so 26 times now. But there are certain courses you get to take where it's like, oh, the psychology, like forensic psychology, where it's like criminals and stuff. And so you'll take a course here and there and you'll be like, the fuck? Like, I feel like, too, there was, I don't know if you guys ever had that kid where you, this might be controversial. I don't know. I feel like every school had it, but maybe it was just our school. But I feel like every school had that one kid that was like, he's going to do some school shootings if we're not careful.
No,
like, be nice to that kid.
I had to befriend somebody just in case, because if I'm getting out safely.
So we had a kid like that. I'm not going to say his name because God knows what that kid is up to now. But we had a kid like that. And honestly, like, looking back, that poor kid probably was like just needed some extra help or whatever it was. But he was constantly like, I think it made it worse because all the guys like egged him on. So like he would constantly be like, oh yeah, like this is how you make a bomb, and then all the guys would be like, oh, like, are you gonna blow up the school, so and so. And then he'd be like, I mean, I could. And then be like, oh, tell us more. Like, all the guys would, like,
encourage you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, everybody went around the school being like, this guy's sus as hell. But he was super low-key. Like, I feel like people forgot about this kid. And sometimes I'll think about him and I'll be like, I wonder what he's up to. I wonder what he's doing. I hope he's doing well.
That's
Yeah. What was your situation?
My situation, this kid was just always really angry at everybody, like super angry. And if you try to talk to him, he would make it known, like, you're pissing me off. Don't fucking talk to me or I'll fucking kill you type thing. So I had to like slowly kind of like, hey, like,
How's it going?
let's be friends.
No, you know what you just reminded me of too? We had some kid get expelled from my high school because he went around telling people that he had a list of like kids that he was gonna like shoot first.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but he thought he was like being funny. He was like this white kid who like had everything in his life handed to him. And so like I think he genuinely thought he was being funny.
And people took it
And like if you like if you got on his nerve or if you were like did something like against him, he'd be like, you're on my fucking list. And I remember and I remember like so I had theater with this kid because he was weirdly, ironically, he was a really good actor. And so like I had theater with this kid, and I remember my best friend David and my best friend Bria. They also, I think it was like our freshman year, they also had theater. Like it was like freshman year, everybody had theater in the same class, whatever. And so, um, I remember like David and Bria like did something to him, or like, or I think they were just like, you're weird, so they would like avoid him versus me. And I think at that time he had a friend named Zach, and I was friends with Zach. Like Zach was also a really cool theater kid, whatever. And so like I would not avoid him. Like I'd be like, okay, like whatever, you know what? And whenever he said shit like that, like I was like, okay, he's joking. He's like an idiot little kid, you know what I mean? But when he said that, like, I don't know why, but he said that to Bria and David, or to just David. I can't remember what it was. He said that to one of them. And when I tell you, they feared for their like they were like, oh my god, we're gonna die. Like they were like like about to start crying, and I thought it was the funniest thing.
That they're gonna die. You're like, haha, you're on the list.
No, it was just because I was just like, they like, bro, he's obviously in my head. Obviously, I don't know like what could have happened, you know. Like they could have been like it could have been completely real. That man could have had that list at home, you know, whatever it was. But in my head, I was just like, he's obviously kidding. Like he's a theater kid, you know. Like he took shit too far. Whatever. The joke wasn't funny, you know. And so like they would be panicked, and I'd be like, guys.
Like, there's no way.
Guys. Anyways, he ended up getting expelled for that because he literally like, and it was, he got expelled our freshman year.
Yeah.
So like he didn't last long in our school, and our school was super small, and it's just like all these fucking nerds and geeks. Like that's how small our school is. So of course everybody's like fucking telling the principal like, hello.
No, dude.
But yeah, I had completely forgotten about him. But
no, yeah, that kid too. He never like said anything. And I'll show you what he looks like after, and you're like, oh, definitely. But he never had like something to say about a list or I'm gonna kill you all. But it definitely gave off that vibe. And because it was never mentioned, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're capable of. But we ended up actually being good friends. So,
oh yeah,
honestly,
he's actually pretty nice. If you're not like,
if you're not being an asshole, he's really nice.
Anyways, so I'm talking about our school shootings. Why is this country like that?
I don't know.
What was I gonna say? Oh no, did you hear that there was a school shooting in Florida recently?
No, I didn't.
It was like a university, like Florida, like one of the big ones, like Florida U or something. There was a school shooting, and it was super sad because, I'm sorry, I laugh when I'm uncomfortable.
She said it was super sad.
No, but it was super sad because like all the news people were coming out saying like some of the kids that survived a different school shooting from their elementary school, and I said, ain't no fucking way. I would be so done.
They really have it out for them.
I would be so done, bro. I'd be like, you know what?
What the fuck did I do in my past life?
I would be like, actually, I don't need school that bad. I don't need school that bad.
Can we just Zoom again?
To get into today's topic, do you have any like, I know it's probably bad to say, but any favorite like
murder mysteries?
Family going through, and we're like, what's your favorite one?
No, like to hit on that note. Don't you think it's kind of crazy that we're like that people are so obsessed with murder mysteries, like knowing damn well that somebody died.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's really weird, right? Like I think it's really weird. Not that it's gonna stop me, but I think it's like you know what I
I
mean?
think it's just because of like the narrator or the narrating of it and
Like the story being
the
told.
story being
I think
told.
it's definitely like the disassociation,
Uh-huh.
the disassociation of it. So it's like you don't really recognize the people as people because it's like a story.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Did you hear? And I don't really know a lot into this one, but it's about a little girl that went on a vacation with her family. I want to say like, I might be wrong, like Costa Rica or something. And they were at a hotel and all this other stuff. And basically, the family had gone out. And so they do their thing whenever they go back to the room because they're going to go to sleep. It's bedtime. The kids go to bed and the parents go to bed too. When they want to go check up on this little girl is missing.
Wait, they're in different rooms?
They're in different rooms. Yeah, it's like a suite type thing because they were like super rich.
Oh.
They're like, this is like a super rich family.
And this is why you stay poor.
More money, more problems. No, but yeah, they're like in separate rooms. If I'm not wrong, I think the little boy, she had a brother. I think the little boy and the little girl had the same room, but the little girl was the only one that went missing. And till this day, they never found out.
That's suspicious.
That's sus. Till this day that I know of, because I feel like I saw this on Netflix. They have not found this little girl. They don't know if she's dead. They don't know if she's alive. She just know that she was kidnapped.
Does the brother like have any like
I don't know, but the brother was little too. They're like little kid vibes. I want to say maybe like 5, 6.
Okay.
And so then the little brother
is it a wait? Where were they staying? In a hotel?
In a hotel. Yeah.
Is it possible that the girl just like walked out?
But the thing is that they were like on a super high floor, and they only had like those big windows that like you have in a room. She was missing from there. Like that window was open. Yeah, it's like
the fuck. A hawk came and like.
Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, I think for the longest the parents were suspects.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody else.
Yeah, and so they're like,
you're gonna blame the 5-year-old, you can.
I think they would have told the truth by now. No, but yeah, it's weird. It's not like a murder. What is it called? Unsolved mystery type thing? Yeah. But yeah, I don't think they found her to this day. They don't know where she's at type thing. It's weird. It's crazy.
Do you have any theories?
Of her? Damn, what the hell was that? Honestly, look, if that little girl hasn't popped up, then she's probably dead.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure like they've said in all the criminal shows, the studying I've done, they say like after 24 hours they're most likely dead.
Yeah, but I really think it had to have been the parents. They have money. You swear like they couldn't buy their fucking silence. Where else is that little girl supposed to go?
Who's the one that called the cops?
I think it was a mom. I think it was a mom that found her missing, the little girl missing.
I would just like, I don't know. There's no cameras.
And there was no like force of entry. There was no like blood. That like
there
it was just like a little. Let's go.
There is this one like Criminal Minds episode where the brother is like a psychopath or something. Kills his brother, and it's like he had been working up to it, right? So he had been very abusive. I think he had killed a cat or some shit.
Oh shit.
Which honestly, I've read too many like stories of people finding out that their family members are psychopaths, and like one of the first things they do is murder an animal. So like maybe immediately take them to like a psychiatrist, because the fact that most of these stories people are like, they're fine, that's what little kids do. I'm like,
on his free time he would go kill animals and find joy. Excuse me.
Like, in what world are kids doing that? Like, I think the most I harmed an animal was a slug putting salt. And then like
feeling bad?
I felt immediately bad.
I dreamed the damn slug.
Like, that was like the worst I could do, like that was scary as hell. So for them to be like, oh, he skinned a rabbit, like, no. And also, like, 90% of the time they live in the city, so there's like really no justification for it.
Or did you hear that a lot of people get turned on by killing an animal? Or like
That's a thing.
That's a thing, and that's what Jeffrey Dahmer had when he would see like the sliminess of the organs, or like when he would he would get turned on. So it's like,
ew.
Yes, dude.
So I know that there's like necrophilia.
What's that?
Necrophilia is when somebody can only like kind of get hard or like want to have sex with like a dead body.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I know that that's a thing. Necrophilia.
I know that was a thing. I didn't know there was a name to it. What'd you say?
There's a name for all of them.
Necrophilia.
So I'm sure that there's a name for that one, but I never heard of that. But I know that there was like a case of it like pretty recently of necrophilia, where they had found out. I think it was like somewhere in Southern California. That like this funeral home was like letting some guy come in and
like they were aware of what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh hell no.
And I think it was only because like a family member saw something wrong with like the person's clothes that they realized, like, I don't know, they investigated some shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know what it also reminds me of is Marilyn Monroe. You know the story about her?
No.
When she died, bro, she had it bad her whole life. But when she died, her body went missing for like, I don't know, like a couple hours or something.
Was it JFK?
No, like
didn't they have a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
No, everybody's pretty sure that it was like a guy that was like obsessed with her or something. Like her body had gone missing. It was like a whole thing. Like they're pretty sure that he like
did things.
Yeah. And I was just like,
dude, you know, I feel like what makes me like angry is like, dude, they obviously can't defend themselves.
They're dead.
And you're disgusting.
Like, no, disgusting is like the first thing.
What is that? What's that disease called? You might know. It's a disease that you get when you can only have, or I mean, you only get when you have sex with diseased body. There's like some type of,
I don't know the thing,
wrong, but it's some type of like STD vibes. But you can only get it if you have sex with a diseased body.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, I thought you knew because you were like saying the name of it. Like,
no, I knew that people had like fantasize about that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that there was like a thing you could get.
Yeah, because there's like this story that I heard that there was this husband that would have like sex with dead bodies, and then obviously he would go home and like his wife's like, okay, like, yeah, that's my man. And then she would do it with him. And so she felt some type of way. So she goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, I'm gonna investigate your ass because what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you have whatever, and you can only get this if you have sex with a dead person. And she's like, what the fuck? No, I've never had sex with a dead person. So there was this whole investigation, and it turned out that her husband was having sex with dead people. And then he would go home and have sex with her.
Literally, what the I would be traumatized.
Yes, dude. Men will literally fuck anything.
I would be so traumatized to find out like
I would go.
My husband was doing that.
Would,
Can you imagine?
No. I don't want to imagine.
But like, cops come to your door. Lalo's been having sex with dead people.
He's gonna be the dead person.
No, but like, I would first. Like, I would want to burn my own body. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like I don't even know what I would want to do.
I would want to drink hand sanitizer.
Rubbing alcohol.
I would want to. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
No, that's absolute. I didn't. I'm still like disgusted.
I want to Google that actually.
What the name of like the disease?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a fucking thing. But I kind of love that for our bodies.
For what?
Like, we're really trying to defend ourselves still. Like, oh, period. You know the FBI is looking at your Google search. Like, what the fuck is this?
I'm gonna show them this podcast. Watch the podcast.
We need more views. Please watch.
Oh, I guess I was right. It just says, in particular, hepatitis B and C and HIV-1 have demonstrated a greater capacity to spread through the corpse other than pathogens, in addition to tuberculosis, gastrointestinal infection E. So I guess it's kind of like HIV, but I thought it was called something else. That's weird.
Yeah, like you just get everything all at once. Well, I feel like that makes sense just because when you die, your body kind of like decompresses everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people like will fart one last time or will like poop one last time.
Oh my god.
Because your body's like literally letting go of like anything. And so that's also why you get like the bodies that are like super old in the woods or whatever, and they're like filled with gas and stuff. This is like your body's releasing all the toxins into the world, basically. Yeah, if you have really bad shit, then that's gonna come out too.
Oh my god, that's so scary. What do you think goes through their head? Like, do you think like they become somebody else? Do you think they're aware of what they're doing? Because you know how sometimes people are like snap out of it and they're like, oh my god, what was I doing?
No, I think they're aware. So from what I've seen, from what I've learned, it's a lot of like you're seeking it out, you're doing, you know, you're doing that on purpose. The only time people are like they snap out of it and they're like, what have I done? It's once they're doing something out of like anger or sadness, not because it's like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh yeah. So like there's situations where women will kidnap babies because they've lost their kid or something, and they get into this delusional state of like, this is my child and like I have to protect my child, and everybody's trying to take away my child from me, but it's not her kid. And it's not until like moments later or when they actually take away the kid that it clicks that it's like, oh shit, my kid died, like what am I doing? And it's like, so it's like those, I feel like those are more like out of anger, out of sadness, out of like something like literally broke you. Versus this is like, I think something that's in you since forever. Yeah, other than that, I think those people know what the fuck they're doing.
Oh my god, that's scary.
You know what I was watching before you got here though?
What?
I was watching, do you know who Stephanie Sue is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, hey, you need to watch her.
Okay.
I love her. She's so like,
she's podcast too? Podcast vibes?
Podcast, YouTube videos kind of vibes.
Okay.
But her main thing is like murder mysteries or unsolved mysteries or kind of things like that. And she was just talking about one in South Korea. And she was talking about how like in South Korea it's very like, by the rules, but everything's like kind of like super safe. And she's talking about how in South Korea when you get picked up, because I know for us like in elementary, like everybody was just like, okay, like here's the door, exit, find your way home,
look for your mom.
Yeah, like that was pretty much it. And then, but I guess in South Korea everybody kind of stays in their classrooms, and then one by one as the parents come, they call and tell the kid to come downstairs. So it's very safe. Like the kid literally is just going down a flight of stairs to the main office to get picked up. And nothing has ever really happened. And then in 2015, I think that's when the story took place. This girl gets called from the office, so the teacher releases her. She's supposed to go down the stairs. And then 5 minutes pass by, the main office, like, okay, she's not here. Maybe she went to go get water, maybe whatever. 8 minutes pass by, like, okay, she forgot something, whatever. 10 minutes pass by, they're like, something's wrong. And so they call the teacher and they're like, hey, where's the girl? We've called for her. And the teacher's like, she went down like 10 minutes ago. And they're like, what? And so all hell breaks loose because it's like, what do you mean? Like, she's not here. They start looking for her. They cannot find her. Like, literally could not find her anywhere. Luckily, the dad had like one of those tracking apps to be like, okay, so like her phone says that she's nearby. She's either in the school or in one of the apartments nearby. They're like calling the police. They're like looking for her. A few hours go by, cannot find her. And then this app has like a thing where even if you silence the phone, if you push like a ring button, like it's gonna ring the phone. So he's like ringing it. And I guess like when you do that, you can hear the audio from the other line, like from the girl's phone, basically. And she's like 6 to 8, somewhere around there. And so like he's doing that, and then all he hears is like the buttons, like somebody like pressing them to turn it off. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And then all of a sudden, he does it once, and then he could hear like someone breathing, like heavy breathing, like like that. So he's like, "What the fuck?" And like he was like telling people like there was somebody breathing, and then they're like, "Well, is it the girl?" And he's like, "No, like that was an adult breathing." And people are like, "How do you know what the fuck the difference is?" Like, what do you mean? It's like somebody breathing, and he's like, "That was an adult breathing. Like that was not a kid breathing. That was like adult out of breath, 10 flight of stairs breathing." He's like, "No, there's something wrong. There's something wrong." He keeps like trying. It's not going through. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're like looking at this point. The grandma of the little girl is there too. So it's the dad and the grandma. And the police are like kind of looking because the police don't think she's in the school. The police think that she's like maybe in the apartments nearby. Like maybe she didn't want to go to like an after school program. I think she had like an art thing after. And they're like, she just, probably ran away, didn't want to go to this program, whatever. So they're like looking for her outside of school, and the dad and the grandma are like looking for her inside of school. And the grandma has walked up and down these flight of stairs, because it's like 3-story building. She's like walked up and down 20 times now because she was on the second flight. She was on the second story. So she's like walked the whole second story like 20 times now. She's like, she has to be here. Like, where the fuck could she have gone? How do you just disappear? Because you can't exit like somebody would have seen her if she exited the building. And so the grandma's like looking. Finally, on the last time that she goes up, she catches like the glimpse of like a door that she hasn't opened. But it's like a door that she didn't think to open because it was kind of like a closet door.
Like janitor vibes?
Kind of, but it was like for audio stuff, kind of like for like audio speaker, whatever. Okay. And so she was just like, let me check it. And it's supposed to always be closed because it has like the ability to like communicate with the whole school, right? So you don't want kids to be like, give me that speaker. And so she turns it and opens. And she's like, okay. It's dark. There's like nothing in there. There's like, all the stuff. And she's just like, I don't know. And she said that like she had like a weird feeling. So she walked in and there was another little door, like another little closet in there. And again, she had this weird feeling. So she opens the closet door and there's a woman in there. And there's a woman in there with like blood all over her face. And the grandma's like shocked. She's like, what the fuck? And then she tells her, like, have you seen my granddaughter, Heather? And the woman just says, no. And then the grandma's like, okay.
I'll take your word for it.
And so, like, the grandma leaves and she stays by that door. She's like, hell no. She calls the police, and then she goes to call her son or the dad of the girl. And the dad is already running upstairs because he had been ringing that app. So he heard his mom be like, have you seen my daughter, Heather?
Oh my God.
And the lady say no. And so he's running upstairs and he's just like, I heard it. And so within a matter of seconds, there's cops there. And she's like about to show them, the door's locked now. And she's like, there's this lady in there and she's had blood, whatever. And so they open it. They like forcefully open it, whatever. And they go to that little closet where the fuck she was. And then she comes out of the closet and behind her is the body of the girl.
Oh my God, shut up.
She had stabbed her like 27 times. Yeah. And so they took them to the hospital. She was pronounced dead on the scene. The teacher was whatever. The teacher wakes up from the hospital, immediately starts laughing.
Wait, you said the teacher. So it was the same teacher that released
No,
her?
So it was a different teacher. It was a different teacher. Apparently, like according to the kids at that school, that teacher was like super creepy. Like I guess like at one point in time she was like the nicest teacher there, and then from one day to the next she just became this creepy ass teacher that would carry around like a box knife. Like you know how like when guys have like the switch knives and they like play with it? She had a box knife and she would just play with it. And she was like scaring on the kids, and the kids would go home and be like, that teacher's scary, and then the parents would be like, eh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so different teacher had nothing, like they investigated like up and down, but there was no correlation between her and that kid. Like the teacher was an upper level teacher, would have never like met this kid before besides like seeing her in the hallway. Like it was like a whole thing, and they finally asked her like, why her, like why did you stop her? And then she laughed and she goes, it didn't matter who it was, I just wanted to take someone out with me. So she wanted to kill herself too. So she had like when that blood was like self-inflicted injuries that she wanted to kill herself too.
Oh my god. So it was just like whoever passes by is the chosen one, so there's not like.
Yeah, so it just so happened that that girl was called. She was gonna go downstairs. The teacher was in the hallway. And she said that she pulled her aside and told her that she needed her to get a book, and then she took her into that room.
Oh my god, pobrecita. That sucks.
Isn't that so crazy?
That's fucking. So what? The teacher ended up killing herself? Is she in like jail type thing? Or?
She's in jail. I think the thing is like still ongoing.
Like investigating?
Like the official investigations. Okay. Like there's not like an official sentence, but she already admitted it. So I guess. I don't know how long the process takes in South Korea, but South Korea.
You look, I think that's North Korea vibes, no?
No, so like I think también like when you hear like Stephanie Sue talk about it, you hear her talk about like netizens who is just like basically like people like you and me listening to the story on the news, because it was like apparently it was like an international thing, but like people listening to the story could not believe that it was South Korea because it's usually so safe. It's usually like the safest place you could have kids and like all this other stuff, and like there was no reason. Like I think sometimes you think like there's a crazy man on the loose or whatever. There was genuinely no reason for this lady to be like,
oh gosh, that's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad for them. No, I mean I do too. I feel bad for the dad and grandma who were like,
imagine how like angustiados they felt.
Yeah, and to know like they knew she had to be there somewhere. Like the cops left basically, and the grandma was like, I want to walk these stairs 20,000 times until I find her.
What's weird? It's always like, you know when they say that parent instinct or that motherly instinct? It's so on point.
Yeah, it is, huh? I feel like I've heard like recently a lot of stories of like parent instincts and like having you be protected from
certain things,
yeah.
It's weird. It's so crazy. Damn. I don't even know what to say. I feel like I'd go crazy after that. In a sense, like I'm gonna get you back type thing. Like,
oh no, for sure.
I'd go fucking insane.
You know the guy in Mexico who's like goes to all the women's marches? No. Because in Mexico, sadly, it's like kind of common for there to be missing women. And because of that, when a girl goes missing, unless she's like high priority, like parents got money, they're not gonna be like honestly out there looking for them, you know? And this guy, that's what basically happened, is that the girl went missing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think his daughter was found dead somewhere. According to him, like they didn't do anything. Like there was no search for her. There was no like anything. Like we don't know if they would have looked for her on time, like they would have found her alive. We don't know, you know? And so now he goes to all the women's marches with a picture of her on his shirt.
Oh, the dad?
The dad, and he gives hugs to all the girls and he gives them flowers.
Oh, shut up.
And it makes me so sad.
Yeah, dude. And I actually have, right now that you mentioned that, this is actually a true story. It's my cousin's cousin. This happened to. This happened in our little pueblito. This girl, she went out to a fiesta because you know how the December fiestas they get like whatever. She went out to this fiesta.
Some guy wanted to be with her. Like he just wanted to like hit it and quit it type thing, but she was like, absolutely not, I'm not gonna do that to you or with you. So what had happened was that he was like, okay, fine, let's just go out there and let's have a good time. And he ended up having those how do you call them? They're like to sedate cows and horses.
Oh my god, like tranquilizers.
Yeah, something like that. And he put it in her drink. And so it wasn't doing enough effect.
Enough effect.
It wasn't doing enough effect. I guess quickly enough for him type thing. So he injected it to her directly.
He said this is taking actually.
Yeah. And so they were like he did this when they were on their way home. So like, okay, party's over, I'll take you home, I'll walk you home. And again, it's a little pueblito, everything's local, everybody knows everybody type thing. So they're like, I'll take you home and whatever. So he took this route home. He did that to her. He like injected her, put it in her drink, and she like passed out. And so he ended up like raping her while she was like knocked out. And of course, because it was too much for her body to handle, she died. And they found her dead like I want to say maybe the next day or like 2 days later because they're like, where the fuck is she? She never came home.
She never came home from this fiesta, and they ended up finding her dead.
I would be pissed.
Yeah, dude.
And I think this is why I think it's hard as a teenager to be like, I mean, I don't know how old she was, but
yeah,
like
she was like early 20s, mid 20s at that
yeah.
time.
So
yeah.
I think it's hard like as a young adult to be like, I don't want my parents tracking me, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's super hard, but when you're in a country like Mexico, unfortunately,
there's not thing I can't just send you my location.
Yeah.
I can't just like, oh, it's unfortunately they're not at least where I'm from, they're not up to date with their technology. To this day, it's very like just city vibes. But if you go to like the Sierra the Rancho type thing, it's like no, I still have to go add minutes to my phone, or I still, you
Yeah.
know, so they can't just be like, oh, send me your location so I can go track you, or like just to be safe type thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
I think that's so scary.
yeah, dude.
I think it's and so with the story that I told with the girl, um there had been a debate about that app that he had used before that happened. There had been a debate about that app in South Korea about whether or not that was like an invasion of privacy.
Okay.
Because like we said, you ring it, you hear the other line immediately, you know, like sometimes if a friend has that, they might just do that to annoy you, or like if you're not answering their calls, whatever, you know. Or like if you don't answer your mom's call right away, you know, she might do that. Hear
So it's
something
like
she's not
walkie-talkie vibes?
kind of.
Yeah, okay.
And so there was a lot of like discussion online whether or not that was like an invasion of privacy, and a lot of people were saying, you know, like it is like maybe like as soon as you get to a teenager, maybe that's like too much of an invasion of privacy versus like when it's a little kid, like understandable, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I just wouldn't be able to like shake the feeling of like you're going somewhere, coming home alone with someone you just met that night.
Yeah.
And not having somebody know where you are.
Like a backup, or like come with me, or
yeah,
you know, yeah.
I think that's so scary.
That is. And look what happened, dude.
Yeah.
And my dad, oh my god, a couple years later after that, I want to say maybe 3 years after that, I had went to my where we're from, and my cousin was like, hey, like she was gonna hang out with her boyfriend at the time. She's like, hey, we're gonna go hang out, they play basketball and all the girls just chill, do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, like let's go. And I think at this point I was maybe like, I would say maybe 15, 14, 15. So I had to, of course I had to ask my dad for permission, and he felt a little bit uncomfortable because of that situation. And so then he ended up letting me go, and we told him we were going to be in one basketball court thing, but then we ended up moving to another one. And so when my dad was going to go check on me, because I didn't have, you know, like a cell at that time, he didn't see us at the specific basketball court where we told him we were going to be. Dude, he lost his shit.
I would too.
He fucking lost it.
You said you would be right here.
He lost it. And then he was calling my cousin, and my cousin was not fucking answering. But I didn't know that he was calling my cousin. If not, I would have just like, hey, we're good. So then he goes and he looks for us in different like basketball courts, and it took him some time to look for us. And it turns out that we were near a basketball court where it had happened.
Oh.
And so my dad was like, he lost his shit. Like he was yelling at me, which in the moment I didn't know why. I'm like, dude, fucking relax. Like, again, because it's like you're a teenager. You just want to be like, dude, just fucking relax. And we get home and I just start bawling. Dude, like,
oh, my heart.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Crying, and he had just like explained everything to me, and I started crying. I was like, oh shit, like I guess, like
You're like, I guess.
I guess you're right. Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
Like, the thing was like, my dad
got so anxious and he was crying over that, and he was able to find me. Imagine finding your child being stabbed 20 something fucking times. Dude, oh hell no.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's scary, dude.
Honestly, when parents get vulnerable, it breaks something in me.
Yeah.
Because you look at them like, I think sometimes you forget that parents are people.
And you're supposed to look at them like you shouldn't be scared of anything, or you shouldn't
like you're Superman.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're crying.
Yeah.
And then you realize like, oh my god, they're scared for a valid reason.
Yeah.
Like they're, like this is upsetting.
Like obviously they're not just gonna go around telling their kid like people can get fucking killed,
Yeah.
especially to like I guess preteen. Is that still preteen? 14 years old?
No. That's a teenager.
But the teenager, I mean, I guess you're still not gonna go tell your teenager like you're gonna get fucking murdered, But still.
Yeah, no, that's scary though. I think it's funny because I grew up here, right? And I grew up a very different like life than Isaac, and his story is so like it's a lore, dude. Like one day I have to sit down and fucking tell you because it's a lore.
Oh gosh.
But so whenever we talk about like maybe having kids one day, A, he's always scared like I hope it's not a girl. And B, he's always like, whatever kid we have, we're sticking them with a fucking microchip. I don't give a fuck. Like we're gonna fucking find them. And I always think like, pobrecito. But I'm just like, you know what?
It makes, I mean, from his side, it would probably make sense.
Yeah. It's scary, the shit that could happen.
Yeah. I do have another story.
What's your story?
It's also like a true story that happened like where my boyfriend's from. So basically what had happened was that I want to say maybe it was a cousin. Let's just say it's a cousin. I don't really remember again, but a man cousin kidnapped another cousin, right?
I already don't like it.
And so they were like wanting money from the parents or something, but the parents didn't know it was coming from family, right? And so they were looking for him. Long story short, they ended up finding out that it was their own cousin. And what happened was they literally
dragged this guy to death. Like they
period. I said
I want to say before, I might be wrong. I might be remembering it incorrectly, but I
call him up.
Can you tell a story? No, what had happened was I think they like hung him, but before
God damn.
Yeah, before hanging him, I think they like tied him. I don't know if by the neck, by the somewhere in the body, and they just like somebody was driving and he was hanging from the car, and they were just like, and they were like dragging him. Yeah, dude.
I have so many questions.
I may not have the answer because that's all I know.
This was in Mexico?
This is Mexico.
And like Pueblito vibes.
Pueblito vibes.
Well, I mean, listen, Pueblito vibes, you're not really gonna find cops.
Yeah.
Or judges or courts, like.
So they take matters into their own hands.
They really do take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
It's not always the most ethical, but they get the job done.
Seems fair to me. I mean,
like what happened to the little girl?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's fine now.
Okay.
I don't know. I was kind of scared to ask because it's also like their like trauma.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh. I'm I'm sorry to hear that. But if I'm not wrong, I think she's good now. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
so
guy,
they just like dragged him to death.
and they hung him. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Oh
but valid. I feel like.
But that's the thing. People will go fucking crazy. And then again, it has to do with you. Like, they were so angry. They were like, no, I don't care. Like, I'm going to hang this man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they ever snapped out of it. I don't even know if they got caught. I don't know if they're in jail. I don't know if they're free. I don't know.
I would have to assume that they're, like, free and roaming about. Like, nothing really ever happened.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Because it's all the same family, right?
Yeah.
Like, who's going to tell? Who's going to call the cops on them? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it's not like he had family looking for him. His family was the one that did it. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But also, like, sometimes I hear stories of, like, stuff that happens to kids and, like, having to wait for the court system to, like, do their thing. Listen, I understand. Like, a part of me is like, okay, like, due process and, like, you know, make sure that you have the right person, because there are stories of people being wrongly incarcerated, and those are also very sad stories.
Yeah.
So I understand due process, but sometimes when you have so much evidence against that one person and all they get is like 5 years in prison,
Yeah.
give me the person. I'll handle it from here, because y'all clearly didn't do shit.
No, honestly, like, that one dad that he had his, like, brother. Maybe it was a brother, but for some reason, or oh my god, I don't even know how to say this. That guy was padrino de la niña.
Mm-hmm.
And so the niña's dad was like, go be with your nino, because I have shit to do.
Yeah.
So basically, the padrino watched the little girl. And so then the dad picks up his daughter, and he finds bloodstains, like, on her pants area. And then he's like, hey, like, what happened? What's this? And she was really scared to tell her dad. But she ended up telling the dad what happened. So her dad goes to, I don't know if it's his brother, his cousin, but the padrino's house, and he murders this man. He fucking murders this man, and for some reason, I mean, logically, yeah, that dad still has, I think, like 25 years to, like, life, because he was defending his daughter, and he was like, you guys were not doing anything. You guys were not doing anything. You guys were not on my side, so I had to do what I had to do. And he murdered the padrino, and he still got sentenced to, like, life or something like that. Like, what do you think about situations like that? Do you think
I'm trying to think about what the right thing to say is here, because on one hand I understand, like, the wanting to, like, defend your kid and stuff. But on the other hand, like, okay, I feel like this is controversial. On the other hand, I don't know if that's, like, an eye for an eye. You know what I mean?
Like, why wouldn't it be an eye for an eye?
Because I feel like that's more like an eye for a body. like, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, I guess I see what you mean.
No, but like,
you mean more like it's not the father situation?
No, like, I feel like if you want to get back at him, like, have somebody rape him. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. I what you're saying.
I feel like that would be even.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was like, I'm so angry, I can kill you, which valid. Yeah. But I wouldn't say it's like an eye for an eye.
Yeah,
I
guess so.
I think it's like a little bit beyond an eye for an eye.
And my thing is, sometimes, I mean, growing up, how I grew up, there was always a lot of, like, revenge type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I tell, like, I'll be talking to, like, my boyfriend and stuff, and I'm like, if this ever happens, literally just let anybody else handle it. Because he's very much the type of, like, I'll go over there and I'll fucking kill him, or, like, I'll go over there and take matters into my own hand. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Because, you know, like, let's just put ourselves in that little girl situation. Like, yeah, my dad defended me, but now I don't get to grow up with my father.
Yeah.
Or, like, now, like, I gotta go, if I go visit my dad,
like, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
And it will, I don't think it'll ever be the same, because
Yeah.
You don't know if she grew up and was like, why couldn't you just let the police handle it, or why couldn't
Yeah.
like maybe this is why I didn't want to tell you in the first place, you know?
Makes yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's sad, and you understand the frustration and the anger coming out of the parents,
Yeah.
but I don't know if the outcome was what was intended.
Mhm.
Because I still, like, again, very controversial. I'm not saying send out people to rape other people. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if you wanted to be like an eye for an eye, then he could have done that, and it wouldn't have been life in prison because he didn't
Yeah.
murder somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been like a sexual assault charge, whatever it was, you know? And so, like, that's different.
I guess.
Yeah,
makes sense.
and maybe she still would have had her dad for a little bit longer, and all these other things that come into play. And that's why you kind of have to rely on the court system so that it's like not in your hands.
I guess. But then honestly, it's like, oh yeah, like all the evidence tie up to this, you're gonna get like 3 years. But
No,
you'll
but
be
that
out.
shit pisses me
You'll be
off.
out if you're on good behavior.
That shit pisses me off.
Good behavior? You think he's gonna have good behavior in jail? He can't even behave outside. What are you talking about? Don't piss me off.
That shit does piss me off. No, like the what the fuck is her name? The Selena girl?
Yolanda Salivar.
Yeah, that girl, if she ever gets out, she has a list of people ready for her.
Well, she got her fucking parole denied.
Well, yeah, because I think it's unsafe for her.
She's safer in jail though. The moment she steps outside, she's done.
I 100% believe
your release date is your death date.
like I 100% believe that. And I also think it's crazy that her, like, part of her family doesn't believe that she did it.
Yeah.
Like, girl, she's in there for a reason. Like, come on. But yeah, these stories have been,
I know,
something.
Sometimes I'll see a story, hear a story, read a story, and I'm just like, oh my god, why didn't do this? Why didn't they do this? Or if I was them, I would have done this or XYZ. But it's like I'm thinking of it because I'm in a clear space.
Yeah.
Like I never know what I
100%.
can actually do if it came down to the point of me being in that situation.
Yeah, 100%. Hindsight is
like,
2020.
Yeah. So it's always like, oh, like why couldn't they just do this? Or like they should have done this, but it's like in the heat of the moment, it's like I don't know what.
I can't defend the judge ever. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Like, the judge could be like, you know, this is why I gave him 5 years. Like,
and you'd still be like, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're an idiot. Give me the papers.
I'll do it myself.
Cause like that, like, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, we have to base it off of prior cases or something like that, and I'm like, that's stupid. All the cases were wrong. Then fucking change them all. Like, I don't know. Like, I just come out of here angry as fuck, bro.
Fucking speeding home. You shouldn't have gotten mine.
Oh god, but yeah, like, these stories are crazy.
Yeah, honestly, it's always the good people.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have so many shitty people. Like why can't they go?
Yeah.
You know how better this world would be.
Yeah. Half the government just gone.
We know who's gonna be the first one, guys.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
But that's been today's video.
Yeah.
If you guys have any interesting stories,
let us know.
They never do.
I know.
We're talking into the void.
And I always tell you guys I'm gonna harass you guys, but I never do either.
But I'm really interested. I think it's really, really interesting. We'll see if we get more, like, information, like people tell us more stories. Maybe we could do another one.
Yeah.
And talk about everything that it's just everybody's family chisme.
But of course we'll have permission to share your stories.
Just tell us your family drama and we'll talk about it in the next video. But that would be fucking funny.
Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video and we'll see you on our next one. Bye.